Imagine a world not unlike our own. It is globalized. It is interconnected. Powerful empires, separated by vast seas and deserts, are bound together by complex trade routes, diplomatic treaties, and a shared hunger for luxury. The pyramids of Egypt stood tall. The great fortified palaces of Greece bustled with commerce. The mighty Hittite Empire ruled Anatolia. This was the Late Bronze Age, a golden era of human civilization that had thrived for centuries. They were too big to fail. And then, almost overnight, it ended. Around 1200 BC, in a span of roughly 50 years, nearly every major civilization in the eastern Mediterranean went up in flames. Palaces were abandoned. Writing systems vanished. International trade routes died. Humanity in this region plunged into a centuries-long dark age. What happened? How did the ancient world's greatest superpowers all collapse at the exact same time? It is history's greatest cold case. To understand the fall, we have to understand how fragile this world was. The Bronze Age ran on. Bronze. Bronze requires copper and tin. Copper was common, but tin was rare, often traveling thousands of miles from places as far away as Afghanistan or Britain. These empires needed each other to survive. They were a line of dominoes waiting to fall. For decades, historians had a simple answer for the collapse: invasion. Ancient Egyptian records speak terrified words about a mysterious confederation of raiders they called the Sea Peoples. They were described not as an army, but as a swarm, devastating everything in their path. The inscriptions claim no land could stand before their arms. They annihilated the mighty Hittite Empire, razed the great trading city of Ugarit to the ground, and were only barely stopped at the very gates of Egypt by Pharaoh Ramses III. It's a compelling story, a barbarian horde wiping out civilization. But modern archaeology suggests the Sea Peoples might have been a symptom, not just the cause. Why were they on the move? Were they conquerors, or were they desperate refugees fleeing something else? If it wasn't just invaders, what else was going on? Mother Nature seems to have turned hostile. Evidence from fossilized pollen and tree rings points to a massive, decades-long mega-drought hitting the region right around 1200 BC. In an agricultural society, drought means famine. Famine means instability. To make matters worse, the region was hit by what archaeologists call an earthquake storm, a concentrated series of massive tremors that shattered cities between 1225 and 1175 BC. Imagine trying to run an empire when the ground is shaking and your people are starving. When people starve, they get angry. The Bronze Age ruling class was incredibly wealthy, sitting atop a pyramid of struggling peasants. When the food stopped coming, those peasants likely turned on their masters. Many of the destroyed palaces show signs of being burned from the inside, suggesting internal rebellion, not just external invasion. So was it Sea Peoples, drought, earthquakes, rebellion? The modern consensus is yes, all of them at once. Historians call this a systems collapse. Think of it like a Jenga tower. You pull one block, maybe a drought, and it wobbles. You pull another, an earthquake, and it leans. Then a final push, a migration of desperate invaders, and the whole structure crashes down. When one piece of this highly interconnected world broke, the chaos spread instantly along the trade routes. The Bronze Age collapse was a catastrophe, but it wasn't the end. The ashes of empires fertilized the ground for what came next. The scarcity of tin forced blacksmiths to experiment with a new, more difficult, but abundant metal: iron. The Golden Age ended in fire, but that fire forged the world we know today.